going on, guys? Like, 1, 2, 3, I'm back with another video, and so I'll be doing another Minifig Madness episode, and today, in this episode, I'll be doing all my Lego Movie 1 and all my Lego Movie 2 minifigs. So without further ado, let's get into it. We'll start with Emmett from the Lego Movie 2 in his tricycle or tricycle set. I must say the design on his torso is pretty interesting, and his leg printing is great with his ID badge over here. His belt is cool, and unlike these cool different lines on his torso and legs are great. I also like how you can see his blue shirt on his arms as well. But it does get pretty boring and very repetitive if you have this minifig from basically all the Lego Movie 1 and all Lego Movie 2 sets, because basically this is the only Emmett you get. So there is our first Emmett. We basically have the same Emmett, but he just has a few different things. He has his hair and headphones combo. I really like that. He also has this cool phone. I believe it says awesome on it. That's pretty interesting. And he has this pretty interesting coffee mug. Next we have Wild Style from the Lego Dimensions starter pack. Really interesting minifig. I especially like this cool printing on her, and then she has this cool device trying to find the piece of resistance. And then her hair is pretty nice too, with that cool blue and purple color going through her hair. And this cool hood piece is great, and I like how this cool sort of art is going on the back of the torso and also on the arm. And she does have another facial expression, one happy and then one maybe angry one. Next we have Bad Cop or Good Cop. Now this was from the series Minifigs. I really like the torso design on him with this cool, like, I really don't know how to explain it, with like almost like a badge sort of design, and then his walkie-talkie, and then just a few pockets with a belt. But the legs are pretty boring. I kind of wish they maybe added something on there, and then the back just has his like walkie-talkie cord. And then he does have two facial expressions, because his first one is Bad Cop, and then the next one is Good Cop. Next we have Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz from the Lego Movie 2, also from the series Minifigs, Season 2. Now I must say this minifig is pretty nice. I especially like this cool dress piece. I believe we first got introduced to this in the Harry Potter line. I really like her cool overalls as well, in that cool checkered blue and white, and this cool mold for her hair. I think it suits her very nicely. And then she does have two facial expressions, I believe. One quite shocked one, or maybe like surprised one, and then quite happy one. So really like that. So I really like the inclusion of her red slippers, and they do go all the way around except for the back. I thought that was a really great inclusion. And then I also like the inclusion of Toto, her pet dog. I think the face is really cute with the ears, the eyes, and the nose. And then the fluff detailing here is really nice too, at that tail mold is great. The next character is also from the Wizard of Oz from the Lego Movie 2. And I must say the design on his torso is really great. I like how they have some prints of hay coming out, and then this cool sort of rope as a belt is great. I like how it goes all the way around, and also does the detail for the hay. And then I like this cool 1x4 print of a certificate of achievement. Really nice piece. I really like that. But his face is really creepy. I just don't know how to explain it, but I do like this cool hat you get. Really like the design of that. So now we'll move on to the next minifig. The next minifig is Rex from the book Best Friends, and I really like the torso printing on him with that really nice blue. I also like how it matches Emmett, but not too much, because I like how we get the letter R in green here. And this cool leg printing is great with like these cool shoes and like these sort of shin pads. And then I like this cool like blue sort of stripe on his arm, and then this cool hairpiece as well. I really like that. And then his two facial expressions are great. We have this quite happy and excited one, and then this quite frustrated one. And then in the Best Friends book, you get this cool build for like some sort of like blaster or gun. Really like the design of that. So now we'll move on to the next row. The next minifig is this very colourful pop singer. I must say the colours on this are really nice. The pink, the purple, the yellow, just really nice. And also this cool blue for the shoes. So first we'll start with the front. The torso printing and the leg printing are just great, because with the legs you have four different colours will work very nicely together. We have the white, the pink, the yellow, and then this cool like sort of maybe aqua or turquoise blue, really nice. And then the guitar is great too, and then the mic. The torso printing is great with like this sort of, gotta look at it a bit more. I really don't know how to explain, maybe like different spots, maybe on a leopard or a cheetah or something. And then like really nice sort of fur printing there. And then on the back it does continue the pattern here, and then some more spots. And then this hairpiece is great to this sort of pink and turquoise or aqua color. And then the facial expressions are great as well. We have this cool happy one and this very happy one, or like in this cool singing sort of face. Next minifig is the Hawaiian dancer. I must say, I really like this 1x4 rounded tile as a record. And then the dress piece, like sort of cut out, is really nice to represent the cool Hawaiian sort of dress piece. And then the cool flower detailing on the torso are great, and the green matches it very nicely. I also like that cool like flower necklace, and then do get another one of those mics. And then the green hair is pretty interesting. Never thought they would put green hair on a minifig, but I was mistaken. And then we just have this cool detail of some sort of like pink detailing. And then the facial expression is pretty ordinary, just quite happy one. And then another quite happy or maybe concerned one. So there is that minifig. And then I also like the cool green sort of feet printing as well. So now we'll move into Benny's Space Squad, including himself. First minifig in Benny's Space Squad is, of course, Benny. I must say the design on his facial expression is great. He just looks really, really happy. I like how they've designed that. And then his other facial expression is a quite sad one. And then he just has this cool blue jetpack. And then this really cool like broken helmet, because in the movie his helmet is broken. I really like how they've brought that in to Lego. It might be quite hard to see on camera, but if you do see it in person, it just looks really cool how they've brought it from the movie. And then you have this cool faded out satin sort of logo. I really like that. And then you just have this walkie-talkie for an accessory. Now I've completely forgotten the names of these other three members of Benny's Space Squad. I believe the other three members of Benny's Space Squad are called Lenny, Jenny, and Penny, but I'm not quite sure who belongs to that name. So first we'll start with the white astronaut. I really like the cool logo on the torso, because this one is a bit more of a zebra one instead of the faded one. Really like how that stands out. And then I also like the build of this cool classic space gun. Now this is very similar to Benny, but just with a different facial expression. This is just a very common facial expression from back in that day for Lego, and then there's no other facial expression. The next one is the yellow astronaut. Also very similar to Lenny and the white astronaut, but just with a different color and a different accessory. This is a metal detector, really nice, but it doesn't really stand out if you look at it from a far distance, because if you look at it from a far distance, you probably won't be able to tell there's a minifig inside of the suit because of how yellow both of the parts are. So I kind of wish they maybe chose a different color, maybe like a light blue or maybe a green. That would be a pretty interesting one. And then the final member of Benny's Space Squad is this pretty interesting pink one. I really like this one. I believe it stands out the most in my opinion. We have the logo here, we have the very classic minifig head, and then we just have this pretty common orange. So overall, pretty nice minifig. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Minifig Madness, and I cannot say so. Goodbye.